Good evening to the dignitaries, invitees, teachers, and dear students. At the outset, I, Dr. Vaishali Ramgunde, welcome you all to the online celebration of International Tiger Day today on the 29th day of July 2021. Today's talk is jointly organized by Environment Protection Cell and Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Sri Mathuradas Mohta College of Science, Nagpur. International Tiger Day is an annual celebration to promote a global system for protecting the habitats of tigers
Yes,
and to raise public awareness and
Excuse
support
me,
for
ma'am.
tiger conservation. Yes,
Ma'am,
yes. Is Shamli madam any problem?
no, ma'am, I don't think so.
Okay, someone was calling.
No,
International
please go
Tiger
ahead.
Day is an annual celebration to promote a global system for protecting the habitats of tigers and to raise public awareness and support for tiger conservation issues. When the global tiger population in 2010 dipped to 3,200, 13 tiger range countries, including India, came together at St. Petersburg Tiger Summit in Russia and established TX2. The global goal of TX2 is to double the number of wild tigers by the year 2022. According to the data published in the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species 2015, the global number of tigers has increased to 3,890. Hence, there is a need for assessment of the current situation. Today, we have invited Mr. Pandurang Pakle, an accomplished forester with humongous knowledge and experience in wildlife management. Sir, we have been honored with your presence. I, on behalf of Mota Science family, extend a very warm welcome to you. I take this opportunity to welcome our principal, Dr. Jeevan Dontulwar, Vice Principal and IQSC Coordinator, Dr. Reena Saha, and in charge of EPC, Dr. Uma Sonparote, to this August gathering. At a time when the world has been struggling with an unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic since last year and is still continuing its pretty pace, it has not been possible for EPC of our college to organize students' activities. Therefore, by celebrating the various environment days, we wish to create an awareness among the students and staff members. Organizing these programs make the students and general public conscious about the nature, and we wish that it germinates the seeds of love, hope, and care towards nature. It's my privilege to throw some light on the achievement and contribution of Mr. Pakle. Respected Mr. Pandurang Pakle has done his BTech in agriculture engineering. Birding and wildlife conservation photography is his passion, and he is a regular contributor to wildlife photographs in various newspapers. Sir is also instrumental in sensitizing students and youngsters, and with the cooperation of Publicity Department of Gorewada, one such initiative which the department has undertaken is Nisarga Shikshan Mala, wherein students are enjoying birding. Pakleji's passion for photography has helped him to grab many awards at various competitions organized by central and state governments. He was honored with Special Tiger Award 2017 by Sanctuary Asia Foundation for Wildlife Conservation, Lakshmikant Harkare Memorial Award 2017 by Vanrai Foundation Nagpur for excellent work in the field of wildlife conservation. His significant accomplishments include Gold Medal 2020, awarded by Maharashtra Forest Department for exemplary work in the field of forest and wildlife management. Sir is responsible for initiating the arrest of tiger poachers and also for cracking pangolin poaching racket at Pench Tiger Reserve. Sir has experience of working as an agriculture credit officer and agriculture extension officer. Since 2014, he has been working in the capacity of range forest officer with Maharashtra Forest Department. Presently, he is posted as RFO at Gorewada Project Forest Development Corporation of Maharashtra Limited, Nagpur. So, without taking much of your time, I invite Mr. Pandurang Pakle to deliver his thoughts on the importance of diversity for sustainable habitat with special reference to tigers. Pakle, sir, please.
Thank you. Okay. Good evening to all the uh, participants, and I wish a very happy International Tiger Day to one and all. I am extremely thankful to Mota College of Science for inviting me and giving this opportunity to share my thoughts and experience uh, with you all youngsters, and without uh, spoiling much time on let's start with this Global Tiger Day or International Tiger Day discussions. I'm very much delighted with the introduction given, and I think that Range Forest Officer of Maharashtra Forest Department, this introduction would have sufficed, but as the matter of protocol, you have to give the introduction. So, what we are going to discuss here is on this occasion of International or Global Tiger Day, we will be discussing two things here. One is the tigers uh, success. It means what kind of activities on the global level, on the national level, and on in regional level, that is on state level, we are taking uh, after this Project Tiger. What are the tiger habitats? What constitutes tiger's habitat? What are the threats and challenges? uh, Secondly, I'll be discussing regarding biodiversity of Gorewada Forest, Nagpur. I'll be discussing this because this is a very rich biodiversity hotspot in Nagpur area, and I want the youngsters to come and visit and do research or do observations, write short notes, short papers. So this is a very good biodiversity hotspot, I can say. That's why I would like to highlight. And on this occasion of Global Tiger Day, we should also focus on other species also. See why Tiger Day was celebrated, or why tiger has been selected as a species to conserve. We will be discussing henceforth, and at the end of the my discussion, we will I'll try to address your questions if any. So, as briefly told by ma'am while introducing my me and this topic, why this International Tiger Day was celebrated or started celebrating, she has elaborately discussed everything, but still I'll be doing that. Uh, it was started since 2010 after, and it was decided in St. Petersburg, which is in Russia, and there was a global tiger summit, and it was on the day of 29th July. So the aim was to create awareness about the status, its declining numbers, and n number of other factors. So at least on that day, people, policymakers, researchers, wildlife enthusiasts will come together. They will put their head together and they will ponder. They will do the brainstorming, and so that the dwindling population will come back, and we will achieve some target and the of certain number of tigers. So at in that summit in 2010, it was decided that by 2020 the global tiger population should be doubled. Okay, so that was the main agenda, that was the main target which has been taken uh, in that St. Petersburg summit. So why tiger is important, or what is the status of tiger? You know, there is one IUCN, which is a non-governmental organization, and it looks after the endangered species or the species, and their annually it keeps on publishing red data lists. So within that, this tiger is has been classified as an endangered species. So theme of this year's International Tiger Day is very important, and it is their survival is in our hands. So whose survival? It's tiger survival. But over the during our discussion, we will see that we are not protecting tiger and making favor for the tiger, but we are protecting tiger for our safety. So let's briefly visit over the what is the status of tiger in India. Our Indian sub species is called as Royal Bengal tigers. Every country has some different subspecies. Just like there is a Malayan tiger, and number of other countries. There are 13 countries where tiger is the tiger. Those are the tiger countries. Okay, so why India is important as far as tiger protection or tiger conservation is concerned is it encompasses 80% of the global tiger population in wild. I'm mentioning here wild. Wild is very important. There are n number of countries who do captive breeding. Example are the China is doing captive breeding, and in captivity there are more tigers than those tigers which are in the wild. Then it harbors more than 60% of the, means India harbors more than 60% of the global genetic variations in the species. So for the species to survive, being science students, I would like to focus your attention on this. There should be diversity of the genes. Then and then only the progeny will be the next progeny will be healthier. When it will be healthier? If there is a diversity of the genes. That's why 60% of the global genetic variation is hosted or harbored by the Indian tigers. Then number of individuals, we do estimation every 4 years. So in this estimation, which was done in 2018, so the number of tigers were 3159. That is the estimation. 101% the tiger would be more than that, but this figure is the 100% correct figure, and it has been done by very scientific and meticulous way by use of camera trapping, GPS, and all those activities. So India plays very crucial role in encompassing the objective of global tiger recovery plan. That's why India is the key country in this as far as tiger conservation is concerned at global level. Then we can the question arises, why to conserve tigers? Okay, so why only tigers? We can also discuss that, but to be very precise, tiger is a top predator of an ecosystem. So it is a topmost carnivore in the food chain. It guarantees well being of the forested ecosystem and biodiversity. Second thing is that tiger, by conserving tiger and its habitat, we can have, or our nation can have, water and climate security. So by conserving the tigers, we have to, if we want to conserve the tigers, we have to conserve its prey. If we have to conserve its prey means tiger feeds as a carnivore, it feeds on herbivore. So herbivore needs grasslands, grasses. So if we want to have good prey population, we need to have good grasslands. So for having good grasslands, we should have a productive soil and good water holding capacity of the soil. So ultimately, to produce good grasslands, we have to do the conservation, water conservation or soil conservation Okay, so in this manner, we, for protecting the tiger, ultimately we are going to protect herbivore, then grassland, then water bodies, and all other micro ecosystems of the jungle or the or that habitat. So, so by conserving tiger, we can conserve or we can secure water and climate of our nation. To inhibit why to conserve this tiger? Because it tiger appears or its habitat is wide ranging. It can be found in high mountains, in mangrove swamps, in tall grasses like Tarai region, in the foothills of Himalaya, to dry to moist deciduous forest. Dry forest means we can always think of Ranthambore, and this moist deciduous forest is of central India, and evergreen forest is, and Shola forest system is in Western Ghats. It is an umbrella species, as I have already mentioned. Tigers need large, undisturbed, forested landscapes with ample prey to raise young and to maintain long-term genetic and demographic viability. Why this is important? To protect the tiger, we have to protect its forest or habitat. So ultimately, we'll be protecting all our jungle. So, and most important nowadays, in recent years, we have seen that tiger tourism or tiger reserves have good potential to generate employment, to generate tourism industry, and it can give direct and indirect employment to the n number of people residing in and around the tiger reserves. Then let's just have a look in a brief history of the tiger conservation. Uh, at the time of in the starting of this 20th century, there were 1 lakh tiger population approximately present. With the passage of this time during British era, or there were many rajas and maharajas have who had their individual game reserves, and in that they used to go for shikar. Till the time of our independence, it was shikar was doing by providing the licenses, but the tiger population and all that, for that matter, all herbivore or wildlife population, wild animal population went very down. And so honorable our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ji thought that to revive this population, she started with this project called Project Tiger, and to give legal sanctity and protection to wildlife areas or wildlife flora and fauna, she drafted uh, the most important law, that is Wildlife Protection Act, which became Act in 1972. So because of that, our wildlife got immense protection. So, 1973, Project Tiger was launched. What was the aim? Aim was to harness the functional role of the tiger and its charisma to generate resources and public support for conserving representative ecosystems. See, while protecting this tiger, and tiger was chosen with, why it was chosen? Because it has a that tiger is a charismatic animal. Okay, the moment we utter word tiger, we can imagine what kind of we can imagine the its pictures. Okay, the courage, the way it was, it walks. So that is it being a charismatic species, it was chosen for the for conservation. In 1970, there were initially 9 tiger reserves were declared, and area was 8,000 square kilometer, 18,000 square kilometer, and Melghat Tiger Reserve was the tiger reserve which was chosen in Maharashtra. It was the one amongst the 9, and by 2020 we have up to 50 tiger reserves in India, spread over 72,000 square kilometer area. So you can see how much we have increased the area in spite of increase in population, increase in urbanization. So we have achieved a lot. Okay, but still we have miles to go. Now, Tiger Reserve comprises 2.21% of the total country's geographical area. So let's this was the little bit achievement what it has been done, but nevertheless there are also threats and challenges, and with passage of time, those are increasing. One most important threat is organized poaching, which was done because of for meeting the demands in international market for its parts and products. Nowadays, this organized poaching has been reduced, or it has come down, but there is a local local poaching, you can say, but organized poaching has been reduced due to stringent implementation of the Wildlife Protection Act and forest laws, and good support from the judiciary. Then killing of animals out of superstitions and other misbeliefs. There are animals, tigers, which are now and then killed or poached by this because of these superstitions. Then killing of animals in self-defense or in retaliation. Killing of animals in self-defense of whom? Of human beings. And in retaliation, if the cattle is killed by the tiger, then the farmer or the cattle owner, what it will do, what he or she will do, he or she will put the poison on the carcass, so that whenever next time the tiger or any or carnivore comes, it will be poisoned. Then human encroachment is one of the important threat or challenge in front of us for protection of tigers. Sorry. After that, habitat loss and fragmentation is another challenge which we are uh, uh, facing. Then lack of corridors. Corridors are very essential. Corridors, just like it is a small patch of a forested land, which or green area, which connects the two bigger areas of forest or tiger reserves, or for that matter wildlife sanctuaries. Then linear infrastructure is important, which is because of this there is a fragmentation of habitats. Linear infrastructures like railways, canals, then transmission lines, then national highways, these are the linear infrastructures, and this has been resulting into the fragmentation of the major corridors and habitats. Then size of many tiger reserves and protected areas in India is small for viable tiger population. So many of the protected areas are just like an oasis, okay, or just like an islands in surrounded by the settled areas. That's why this is also one of the challenge, and because of this, man-animal conflict is nowadays is on the higher side. Then most of the area is surrounded by vast sea of ecological unsustainable land uses. Means what I already mentioned: settled area, urbanized area. There might be some industrial belts and human settlements. These are the challenges which has fragmented the habitats of the tiger reserves. Then what is the condition or status of Maharashtra? How Maharashtra, where Maharashtra stands in case of this tiger reserves? There are 6 tiger reserves in Maharashtra. Briefly, I'll go. Melghat Tiger Reserve, Tadobandari, Pench, Navegaon, Sahyadri, and Bor. All of the tiger reserves except Sahyadri are in eastern Vidarbha or in Vidarbha region, and Sahyadri Tiger Reserve encompasses or lies in the western in Western Ghats or in Western Maharashtra. Tiger population of Maharashtra over the period of time, you can see has increased in a good number. In 2014 it was 190, and in 2021 it is approximately 350. So let's. I would like to discuss some case studies regarding this tiger reserve. I was posted in prior joining to this Gorewada project. I was posted in Pench Tiger Reserve of Maharashtra, and I was looking after Pauni Unified Control Area, which is the buffer range. So while serving there, there used to be a highway which was passing by in the buffer area of the Pench Tiger Reserve, and that highway is a Varanasi Kanyakumari highway, or it is NH7 highway. So it is a it falls in NH7 falls in Pench Tiger Reserve, and it comes in between this Pench Kana corridor. And after that, I'll be discussing case studies regarding Gorewada project. This is the tigress called T16. I have taken this photo in Sillare bit, and you can see the habitat and the gracious animal. So while if we want to protect her, we have to protect everything which is part of its habitat. Now this tigress, we have to, if we want to protect that tigress, it is a very vast subject, and it can't be dealt within this 1 or 2 or 3 webinars. But I would like to just touch upon the points what we are doing and what we people forest department or forest personnel are doing. So coming back, this is the corridor map of central India. Sorry for this image, it's not much readable, but we can see this. It is central Indian landscape, or Pench Kana landscape, you can central Indian landscape. Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh border. Towards the northern side, it is a Madhya Pradesh. This is a Madhya Pradesh area, and this one is Maharashtra. Why corridors are important, I'll tell you. On the western side or on the left side, this is a Melghat Tiger Reserve. Okay. Then here in the north, there is a Satpura Tiger Reserve. Then here it is in center, it is a Pench Tiger Reserve, Pench Madhya Pradesh and Pench Maharashtra. Slightly on this southwest side, it is a Bor Tiger Reserve. On the south, it is a Tadoba Tiger Reserve. On the east, it is a Navegaon Nagzira. So this is the landscape, and tiger from one tiger reserve have to be has to move, or it should be, ideally it should be gone from one tiger reserve to another, and we should be able to maintain this corridor very effectively. Then and then only we can have healthy population for centuries to come. See, as I told, because of linear infrastructure, there was problem. But the point is that if we want development, always it has been said that yes, we should have development, but not at the cost of wildlife and forest and this. So what we should be, what is the solution? So we should have we should take the mitigation measures. We should address the problems. Here I have taken this image from internet. So that here we can see this. This is a NH7 highway, which on the northern side it is Pench Tiger Reserve. On southern it is Maharashtra side. So over this highway was after expansion of the highway, after it was rebuilt or expanded, the traffic, the speed of the vehicle was expected to increase, and because of this animals would have been the death of animals or accidents, number of accidents would have been increased to a lot. So this was the so to reduce this, we have forest department, then NHAI, WII, Wildlife Institute of India came together, and they devised some mitigation measures. they design some underpass and overpass so that animals can use that pass. So you can see this this image I have taken from internet. Nobody, hardly anyone will believe that this image is from India. Generally we know that or we come across on social media or WhatsApp, there are n number of good and this underpasses and overpasses or animal passes constructed in foreign countries. But I'm very proud to share that this NH7 road and this is underpass and bridge has been constructed in Pench Tiger Reserve, Maharashtra. So this after construction of this, one may also think that animals are using this or not. So we have this we have some images also. So you can see this after mitigation measures, tigers and n number of other animals are using this, and we have addressed both the things. We have conserved or we have reduced the accidents, fatal accidents by doing this mitigation measures, and at the same time we have increased the vehicle speed, or we reduce this time of travel. So we, by addressing these mitigation measures, we address both the issues. Second is regarding Gorewada project. See, this is the location of Gorewada on almost on 70% periphery. It is surrounded by thick or very dense human settlement, and on the western side it is there are small settlements along with agriculture field. So this is the case of Gorewada. Why I am showing you location? Because nowadays every week you might have come across there is man animal conflict somewhere nearby tiger reserve. Some human has been or human being has been killed or lifted or injured by the tigers or carnivores, for that matter. So what are the reasons that we are going to address to reduce this man animal conflict? So if such is the case, there are, you can also imagine, if such kind of area, such dense population is there would have been, and let me tell you, this Gorewada area, it is hardly 2000 hectares area, and it has almost 6 odd numbers of wild leopards. So though this area is fenced, this has the periphery is fenced by the wall, brick wall, but the wall is not much taller. So always there is a chance that the leopard may come out, venture outside, and come into the jungle. But there is hardly any incident of man animal conflict. Okay, so why I am focusing in is this is a good model to reduce or address, or how to address this man animal conflict area. So these are the some small patches of different habitats which encompasses Gorewada project. Gorewada project has a very good water body called Gorewada Lake. I invite all of you to visit this water body whenever you find time. So I was focusing on man-animal conflict, isn't it? So the thing is that why there is a nil or very less man-animal conflict is because of there is a good prey base. Always during conflicts, why animal comes out of its habitat? There are the two reasons. One is the pull factor and another is the push factor. Push factor is that if there is no prey base, if prey base is very less, or there is a heavy grazing, so or the habitat is disturbed because of the human activities, then the animal will come 100%, the animal will come outside its habitat. And once the animal is move outside its habitat, there is a high chances of conflict and it is dangerous to both humans and livestock and as well as for wild animals. So in case of this Gorewada, there is a good prey base, then there is a no grazing pressure. That's why there is a good grassland, and because of that grassland there is a good population of herbivore consists of many I'm going to show a few snaps of that herbivore. So there is an excellent as I told, there is an excellent grassland. That's why, and there is a water available throughout the year. So animal, this prime predator or carnivore here is the leopard, which hardly comes out, and whenever it comes out there are the few incidences of dog lifting in the area surrounding this Gorewada project. So this was regarding this about tiger. In question answer session, if you have some questions, I'll be addressing those. Okay, let's briefly go through what kind of biodiversity or flora consist in this Gorewada. It has herbs, shrubs, trees, climbers. Okay, then what kind of fauna is present? In mammals, the leopard is the prime predator or carnivore. Jungle cat, cheetal, blue bull, wild boar, sambar deer, black-naped hare, and mongoose. Why I am highlighting this? To know, I wanted to know and highlight that though this area is nearby Nagpur, though it is an urban settled area nearby, but it is rich in all this what we call wild fauna. So this is the tiger leopard female. Along with there were 3 cubs, and I could photograph only the single one in this frame. Okay, so this is the habitat of Gorewada. It is taken in monsoon during monsoon season. This is the herd of spotted deer. So you can see there is a good prey base, and there are all kinds of there are what we call this herd consists of individuals of all the ages. There are females, there are males, there are stags, there are fawns, little young ones. So it consists of all age population. This is a stag. It is a male. So it is a this you can see the pair of blue bull. Blue bull on the right is the male, and on the left is the female. And you can also see this is the egret, and because of their association, it is called as a cattle egret. This is a very unique thing. This female of blue bull is eating this lily flower from Gorewada lake. This is black-naped hare. It is also having Gorewada is also having good population of all these reptiles. It is Indian rock python, Russell's viper, spectacled cobra, saw-scale viper, rat snake, gecko, skinks, etc. This is a Indian rock python. This is a Schedule 1 species. Mind well, in Wildlife Protection Acts, there are different animals have been classified in different schedules, and according to schedules, the gravity of the crime or the we can say that the gravity of punishment differs. So Indian rock python is the Schedule 1 species. Tiger is also Schedule 1 species. And if you if tiger or this Schedule 1 species is hunted or poached, one may get the imprisonment up from 3 to 7 years, anything. This is a pair of male rat snakes. This is a combat dance, and it has been I have photographed this in Gorewada lake. This is a monitor lizard. It is a basking. This monitor lizard also falls under Schedule 1. This some butterflies and insects we are going to say. Danid egg fly. And this is a peacock pansy, tawny raja, common nawab. This monsoon season is very best for observing or photographing these little beauties like butterflies and insects. And Shamli madam is very fond of it. So you can always take her advice and or accompany her and come and photograph this small flying beauties. This is the just avifauna data of Gorewada. Just I'll skip because we are running short of time. What is the significance of birds? For that matter, birds, butterflies, and insects also, they are good pollinators. They are predators. Birds are predators, and they keep insect population under control. Some birds are scavengers, so they keep our environment clean, just like vultures. So they are the scavengers. Then they birds are very important for dispersal of seeds and its germination. Now, except few hectare of plantations that we undertake every year, rest of the jungle or rest of the forest is the gift of these birds and animals. So they have planted, they have dispersed the seeds, and they were instrumental in germination of this. And some birds are also serves as an indicator species. These are some of the birds which I have clicked in Gorewada forest. So you can have some glimpses of this. This is a red-necked falcon. This bird is migratory bird. We can see this bird during winter season. This is a Eurasian eagle owl. This is a residential bird. Common kestrel is also migratory. Spotted owlet. This is the oriental honey buzzard. You might be knowing this because this is a bird of Nagpur. So the oriental honey buzzard. This is a pair of pied kingfisher. There is one ritual before mating. Male feeds the female with a fish. So I could take this photograph in Gorewada lake. This is a stork-bill kingfisher. There are 4 kinds of kingfisher that are found in Gorewada lake area. This is a painted stork, white-breasted kingfisher, and common kingfisher. This is a black bittern. These are the lesser whistling teals. These are the gargani, male and female. Generally, in birds and male are more colorful. They are bright in color and dark in color as compared to females. This is a pair of gargani. These are the winter migrants. This is the red crested pochard. This is also migrates in winter, and during winter after October till February, Gorewada lake is full of this red crested pochard. You can come and you can always do birding and photograph there. This is a pair of greater painted snipe. This in this case, female is colorful while the male is dull. So this is some exception. This is a purple sunbird. Why I have shown this? See, to have this kind of if you want to protect this bird, I have to conserve, I have to protect this particular shrub species. It is called as lion's tail, and this is having very medicinal properties also. This is a pair of red avadavet. This is also called as a strawberry finch. The red color bird is a male, the other one is female. This is the Indian silver bill, and many of us know this Baya weavers, or in local language we call it as a Sugran weaver bird. The beauty of this or uniqueness of this bird is that generally male builds its nest, and after half construction, when the nest is half built, the male invites the female, and if the female gets satisfied with that nesting skill of the male, then and then only the pairing is formed. Otherwise, that female goes to next male, and when she finds that the nest is beautiful, then the pairing takes place, and after that they start their life constructing the full nest, and rest of the life they will be together. So this indicates this the even there is also fragmentation or habitat loss regarding this birds also. So they are not getting proper trees to have their to build their nest. So this is a very significant photograph, what I feel. That's why I'm showing you. This is a Taylor bird. This is a what we call, these are the different morphs of Asian paradise flycatcher. This is also called as Swargiya Nartak in Marathi. All are male, and depending upon its age, the morphs changes. This is our national bird, Indian peacock. Then this is the red-vented bulbul, white bulbul. These are the blue-tailed bee-eaters. Nowadays, these are migratory. For 15 to 20 days, these are found in our Nagpur region. So these are the blue-tailed bee-eaters. Some birds are good singers, so they sing. This is a Oriental magpie robin, good singer. This is a common iora. This is a yellow-footed green pigeon. This is the state bird of Maharashtra. That is Harial. This is a red-collared dove. This is laughing dove. This is a drongo, racket-tailed drongo, plum-headed parakeet. Some thieves. This is a Rufous tripi. इसको टकाचोर बोलते हैं मराठी में. So this takachor is also called as a doctor of tiger. Means sometimes it is found that this bird cleans the teeth of the tigers. So whatever the flesh which is attached to the in the mouth or teeth of this tigers, claws of the tigers, that this bird, Rufous tripi, is cleaning. So it is called as a doctor also. This is greater Kokol. There are some migrants which visit this Gorewada lake. These are the black hooded kakushrike, orange headed ground thrush. This is brain fever bird or common hawk cuckoo. Nowadays you can hear its this is all it keeps on calling for a very long period of time. That's why it is called as it has been named as brain fever, means dokyala tap in Marathi. This is Jacobean cuckoo. This comes from Africa, and these birds are visits during monsoon season. This is a grassland bird, Eurasian thickney. This is also jungle bush quail. It is a grassland bird. Then some of these birds, what I highlighted is that how these are raising, how this place is happening place. So this spot-billed duck, this is called as Haldi Kumkum, is raising its chicks, and we need to, as a forester, we need to protect them from any other nuisances and create inviolate space or habitat for them. This is a chick of yellow-watted lapwing. This is a 3 chicks of yellow-watted. There are 4 chicks. I don't know you can see or not, but this is a pheasant-tail jacana, Kamal Pakshi, and this generally most of the chicks are what do you call? They chicks are hatched during monsoon season. Means eggs are laid in late summer, so that chicks will be coming in June, so that there will be plenty of insects and a good number of prey population, so that these birds could feed their young ones and meet their protein demand. Thank you so much. This was just a brief, and I tried my level best to show in this period to highlight what are the challenges and this. And now I request the organizers to, if they have any participants have questions, to let me try to answer those.
Participants, if you have any questions, you can either type in the chat box, or you can also unmute your microphones and ask the questions directly. And faculty, sir, if you can check the chat box, People have actually appreciated your photographs a lot.
Okay, one second, chat box. Okay.
So participants, please go ahead. Sir would be more than happy to address your questions. And yes, there's no language barrier. You can ask the
Yeah, yeah,
questions
you
in
can.
any language.
Hope I made. Didn't spoil your evening. Huh?
No, sir, absolutely not. It was actually so wonderful to view this collection. And I don't think many of us are aware about the rich diversity that Nagpur city has.
Yeah, yeah. That's why these many days I'll celebrate it because of that only. So that we should come together, we should think, we should interact with each other, and then and then only we should appreciate this nature. And we should always, first of all, we should start from our home, isn't it? So then and then
Yes,
the observation would be done, and very interesting facts and phenomena are always witnessed.
right. So Sheetal Chaudhary has a question. Sheetal, can you please unmute and ask the question?
Yes, good evening, sir. It was a very nice lecture, very informative, and so many new things we have learned. Am I audible to everyone?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So I have a question, sir.
Yeah,
Uh,
please.
that I have heard about this that tigers are very aggressive in maintaining their territories.
Okay.
And if another male tries to enter the territory, then there will be a conflict between those two. And there might be a chance that both of them would get killed in that conflict. So is that a reason? Is that I mean, is that could be the reason for the population decline? And if yes, then how the forest department deals with it?
Okay, okay. See, you have put up a very good question. Uh, uh, no doubt, it is a territorial animal. Every individual, every territorial animal tries to protect its territory. No doubt in that.
Mm,
But this is not happening today only. with
mm,
with that species only it has been evolved. Okay,
mm,
so
mm,
from hundreds of years it has been happening like that only, but
mm,
we came across right now कि
mm,
भाई ऐसा ऐसा हो रहा है ना.
mm,
But
mm,
this is one of the reason, but it is not the reason for declining the population. Okay, you might have
okay.
come across one
Mm,
phrase, the survival of the fittest,
mm, mm, mm,
isn't it? So
mm,
as a forest department we are not supposed to intervene. अगर दो
mm,
टाइगर में फाइट चल रही है तो वी शुड गो
mm,
एंड इट डजंट sound, it is not a proper technique or it is not a proper management, isn't it?
mm, mm.
So whoever is the fittest will rule that area, and who is not fit will be eliminated. This is the nature of law. So
Mm,
as a manager, park manager or wildlife administrator, we don't have play a role to play. But in case if it such happens that tiger is very badly injured and it needs some intervention, then and then only we can think of doing that. Otherwise, in some cases there the tiger may the opponent may die, or if it is badly injured, then and then only we will intervene. If we intervene and we brought that tiger back, then we have to release it back as soon as possible. Otherwise there will be imprinting, and once there is a human imprinting, the tiger will not be released in the wild. Then we have to keep and protect that tiger, or we have to cage that tiger throughout its entire life. So that man and this inter conflict territorial fights are very natural. So we should not bother of those fights unless and until it is very fatal and intervention is needed.
Okay.
So
So I have one more question.
yeah.
So actually, it is not a question, but I just want uh, your experience to be shared with us. Uh,
Okay.
when a tiger, specifically in case of tigers, tigress, which is having cubs, okay,
Okay.
if it becomes man eater, then the orders might be there to kill the tigress, right? So how you in your tenure you might have seen such cases. So how do you deal with these things? I mean, what are your experience? What are the emotions you go uh, through when you have to kill the tigress which is having small cubs?
Okay, okay. I basically I haven't got any what we call experience of dealing with such kind of tigress. Uh, but the thing is that we have to we as a manager we need to control our emotions. We have acts. We have certain set practices. So on that basis only we have to take this. Somewhere we have to take the balance step, and those steps or decisions should be adhering to the wildlife management practices, and that should obey the wildlife protection acts and all the SOPs. So that is the case. We try to elimination is the last what you call option. So we try to separate that in what we call that tigress or that problematic animal from the human population. So there should not be any conflict anymore. So unless and until we have exhausted all other our what we call options, we won't go for this ultimate means killing of the tigress. But as per the Wildlife Protection Act itself, if there is a provision and it is a set practice, if it is such and such case has happened, then we have to follow that. Otherwise, there what happens, because of one animal all the species will get blacklisted, or people will that whole species has to what we call has to pay the consequences, isn't it? if मान लो ऐसा कि अपना कोई नागपुर के कोई लोग है एक जगह के, तो दे आर डूइंग सम एंटी सोशल एक्टिविटीज, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट बाहर अगर ऐसा मैसेज जा रहा है कि यार नागपुर ऐसा है, नॉट नेसेसरी दैट नागपुर का हर कोई वैसा होगा, बट देयर विल बी स्टैंपिंग दैट नागपुर के लोग ऐसे होंगे. So this should not be happen, and keeping emotions aside, we have to take the decision, ma'am.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So in the chat box, there's a question by Ashwini Mahajan.
Yeah.
She's asking, the bird named Rufus treepai cleans the teeth of the tiger. That is, it eats the remaining flesh. But does the tiger allow it to do that without any hesitation?
Yeah. It allows. It has, as I showed you. You know, there was a cattle egret sitting on the back. No. See,
Yes.
no. See, everyone wants to. Who doesn't want to get its back scratched?
Right.
Isn't it? So it generally allows to do that. Sometime it has been documented also. That's why I was very keen to share that with you all.
Okay. So there's one more question from Samarth. Samarth. Sir, can you please tell us about your tiger sighting experiences?
Oh. See, I'm not that much behind tigers, because I consider every individual, every species is very important, isn't it? But the tiger being a very charismatic animal, everybody comes and everybody is behind that tiger. But I love photographing tigers, and uh, looking for tiger. It's a very unique experience. Whenever you visit any tiger reserve or protected area, you can see that whenever there is the whole atmosphere over there, it becomes suddenly lively with the moment we see the tiger. All there is a what we call there are the alarms calls. Birds will be shouting their means communicating through alarm calls. Herbivores will be doing their activities, and there is a very liveliness in the atmosphere. But when I was serving in Pench Tiger Reserve, we used to there is one area called Bamboo One, Venuban in that area. So there was flowering in 2014. There was huge flowering, and once the bamboo gets flowers, all its what we call it gets wilted, or bamboo is died, and the seeds will regrow. So what we were doing, that there was very thick seedlings. So we wanted to take some of the seedlings of bamboo from that area, and we wanted to plant those in small bags, polythene bags, and it should be planted in some another area. So I myself and my staff were busy in that area, looking after this, and we were on foot. Okay, so we suddenly come across one tiger which was hardly 100 meters away from us. So some of I myself and one of my guard were monitoring that the movement of tiger, and at the same time we were doing our this activities also. So it doesn't tiger is as it is a what we call that fellow is very gentleman. That tiger never attacks sumoto. Just we have to obey certain rules. We should not what we call we should not the threshold limit should not be crossed. Otherwise, out of insecurity, it may attack. So there are different what we call there are a number of examples and incidences where we can have this tiger sighting experiences. But I on this very auspicious day, what we call, I request all of you that you should not always venture after tigers. Whenever you visit tiger reserve, yes, you should scout for tiger, but you should not get annoyed or depressed, or what we call, if you didn't have any sighting of a tiger. At the same time, you should also ask that guide and gypsy driver the other species. Other species are equally important, and once you have an habit of knowing the importance of other species, you will enjoy every ride in spite of that, if you didn't get the tiger. Okay, so I request all of you that try to enjoy other things also. Please, ma'am.
Correctly said, sir. It is not only the tiger which is there in the jungle. There are other animals also which are required for its survival. So there's one more question from Nilesh Mende.
Yeah.
So before that, we have Varat Giri sir with us.
Yeah.
And he has raised his hand. So he has a question, I guess. So Varat Giri sir, please. So 1 second. Before I request Varat Giri sir to ask his question, I'd like to tell the audience that Varat Giri sir is a renowned Indian herpetologist, and I'm so
Great.
happy that he could join our meet. So yes, sir, Giri sir, please.
सर सर थँक्यू. खूप आनंद झाला. म्हणजे पहिल्यांदाच वाघाबद्दल बोलताना तुम्ही इतर प्राण्यांना पण तितकंच महत्व दिलं. आणि
हे मी धाडस केलं, धाडस. आणि
आमच्या दृष्टीने
खूप आभार.
खूप मोठी घटना आहे, कारण वाघ हा मोठा आहेच, पण वाघाबरोबर इतर गोष्टी सुद्धा तितक्याच महत्वाच्या आहेत. आणि खूप चांगलं प्रेझेंटेशन. मला
धन्यवाद.
खूप आवडलं. पण सर मला असं एक नेहमी वाटतं की वाघ या एका प्राण्यामुळं भारतातील इतर प्राण्यांच्यावर खूप अन्याय झालाय.
ओके.
म्हणजे संशोधन असेल किंवा संरक्षण असेल किंवा म्हणजे कन्झर्वेशन पासून ते रिसर्च जे काय असेल ते, मला असं नेहमी वाटत आलंय की अदर अॅनिमल्स आर हायली मार्जिनलाइज्ड बिकॉज ऑफ ओनली वन स्पीसीज कॉल्ड टायगर. सर तुम्हाला काय वाटतं ह्याबद्दल? म्हणजे मी एक थोडा ट्रिकी प्रश्न विचारतोय, पण हे नेहमी मला जाणवलेलं आहे म्हणून विचारावं असं वाटतंय सर.
मी 100% तुमच्याशी सहमत आहे. परंतु म्हणजे ही जी काय आपण म्हणतो, हे फॅक्ट आपण ऍप्रिशिएट करतोय, हे सुद्धा खूप मोठी गोष्ट आहे की बाबा याच्यामुळे हे असं होत आहे. बट आता म्हणजे प्रयत्न असेच आहेत की आता मी जेव्हा जेव्हा आता टायगर रिझर्व्ह मध्ये पण काम केलं आणि गोरेवाडा मध्ये पण काम करताना की टायगर किंवा फॉर दॅट मॅटर लेपर्ड किंवा बिग कॅट फॅमिली जे आहे ते कॅरिस्मॅटिक स्पीसीज आहेत, नो डाऊट. त्याच्यामुळे पर्यटक आपल्या दारापर्यंत येतो, परंतु जाताना तो निराश होऊन गेला नाही पाहिजे. मी पर्यटनाच्या दृष्टीने आता सांगतोय की पर्यटन आहे, मग त्याच्यामुळे रोजगार आहे, मग ते बऱ्याच गोष्टी त्याच्यामुळे आहेत, मग टुरिझम इंडस्ट्री आहे, बाकी सगळं हे आहे. परंतु म्हणजे टायगर वरती आता खूप हे झालं, त्याचे रिझल्ट ही आपण पाहतोय. 1973 पासून प्रोजेक्ट टायगर पासून आता हे झालंय. आता आपण वेळ आलेली की मॅन ॲनिमल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट वरती आता आपल्याला काम करणं गरजेचं आहे. आता आपण असं म्हणायला लागलोय की कॅरिंग कॅपॅसिटीच्या लिमिट पर्यंत आपण पोहोचलो आहे का? ठीक आहे, काही एरिया जसा ब्रह्मपुरी किंवा आपला ताडोबा तो एरिया आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये टायगर डेन्सिटी खूप आहे. जसा तराई रिजन मधला पण काही पिलभीत वगैरे तो एरिया आहे, तिथं जास्त संख्या झालेली आहे. तर ऍज अ सायन्स आपल्याला ते मग ते तिथले पॉप्युलेशन ते कंट्रोलमध्ये कसं करायचं, ते रिलोकेट करायचं का? आता अशा सिच्युएशनला आपण आलेलं आहे की आपली जी काही यंगस्टर आहेत आज पार्टिसिपेट झालेले आहेत, सायन्स बॅकग्राऊंडचे आहेत, झुलॉजी किंवा हे आहेत, त्यांनी काही अजून अशा काही डोकं एकत्र करून थिंक करायला पाहिजे किंवा सोल्युशन काही काढू शकतात का ते पाहायला पाहिजे. आणि वरच जर तुम्ही जसं म्हणालात की ते 100% आहे आणि तुमचं माझं सगळ्यांचं काम आहे ते की ठीक आहे, झालं ते झालं, परंतु आता तुम्ही जसं इतर म्हणजे जसं हार्पेटॉलॉजी किंवा साप, पाल, गेको यांच्याबद्दल बोलता, तसे प्रत्येकानं आपापल्या ह्याच्यात यावं आणि प्रत्येकानं सांगावं. आता शेवटी होतंय कसं की आपण जोपर्यंत सांगत नाही तोपर्यंत ते शेवटी कुठलंही रिसोर्स आहे ते लिमिटेड आहे. सो वी हॅव टू फाईट. आणि तुम्ही जसं आता इंडियन हार्पेटॉलॉजीला म्हणजे एक मोठं काय प्लॅटफॉर्म तुम्ही मिळवून दिलंय, तुम्ही इतकी लोक रिसर्चर तयार करता आहात, नवीन नवीन स्पीसीज हे करता आहात, म्हणजे डिस्कवरी सुरू आहे, तर ते फार इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. आणि अशा ह्याच्यामधून चिंतन झालं पाहिजे. आता वन गो मध्ये कधी प्रश्न सुटणार नाहीत किंवा सोल्युशनही मिळणार नाही, बट वी शुड थिंक की ठीक आहे बाबा, टायगर आहे किंवा बिग कॅट फॅमिलीज झालं, आता बाकीच्यांचं काय? मग आता बाकीच्यांसाठी मग आम्ही काय करणार आहे? मग ते छोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स पाहिजेत, मग त्याच्याबद्दल आपण काय. आणि सगळ्यात महत्वाचं आपल्यालाही माहिती आहे, आपल्याकडनंही आपण डिस्कशन जेव्हा करतो तेव्हा येतं की डाटा, आपल्याकडे ऑथेंटिक डाटा नाहीये. म्हणजे मी आता गोरेवाडाचाच म्हणत असेल ते अप्रॉक्सिमेटली मी असं काहीतरी म्हणेल, बरोबर आहे, कुठंही डाटा नाही. तो ते तयार करण्यासाठी लोकांनी पुढे आलं पाहिजे. आपण पण खूप एफर्ट्स घेत आहे, तर ते खूप महत्वाचं आहे. आणि मी या लोकांना पण म्हणजे आपल्या आजच्या माध्यमातून पण आवाहन करतोय की समोर आलं पाहिजे. वन विभागाला फार लिमिटेशन आहे, सगळ्यांनी एकत्र येऊन ते केलं पाहिजे. कारण ऍट अ टाइम आम्हाला खूप कॅप्स आम्हाला वेअर करायचे आहेत, आम्हाला प्रोटेक्शन करायचे आहे, आम्हाला हॅबिटेट डेव्हलपमेंट ही करायचं आहे, आम्हाला काही सोशल स्कीम्स आहेत त्याही करायचे आहेत, आम्हाला मिटिंग अटेंड करायचे आहेत, आम्हाला रिपोर्टही जनरेट करायचे. मग देर आर एन नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स. आणि असं वाटतंय की म्हणजे खरं सांगायचं तर तुम्हाला, मला हरकत नाही शेअर करायला की 24 तास पण कमी पडणार आहेत. तुम्ही आता मी या ह्याच्यामध्ये फायर हा एक इन्सिडेंट मी बोललोच नाही, कारण आज मी काय बोलणार, हो की नाही? कारण फायरचा इतका मोठा इम्पॅक्ट आहे. माझ्याकडे खूप सारं हे आहे, कधी तर तुम्ही मला अपॉर्च्युनिटी दिली तर आपण बोलू त्याच्यावरती. परंतु ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी त्या आम्हाला कसं करणार? म्हणजे एखादा शेतकरी आहे, त्याचं 2 एकर शेती आहे किंवा 3 एकर शेती आहे, अख्खी फॅमिली 4 लोक राबतात वर्षभर, तेव्हा ते प्रोटेक्ट होते. आमचं 1000 हेक्टर जंगल आहे ना हो, त्याला एक गार्ड आहे, त्याच्यावरती एक फॉरेस्टर असेल, आणि दॅट इज ओपन ट्रेजर. म्हणजे आपण लोक म्हणतात नाही नाही ते वन विभागाने आपलंच आहे, पब्लिक आहे, कोण आम्हाला अडवतंय, म्हणजे सॉर्ट ऑफ असं आहे. तर ते प्रोटेक्ट करणं आम्हाला शक्य नाही, लिमिटेशन आहे. त्याच्यामुळं तुमच्या सगळ्यांची आपल्याला साथ पाहिजे, आपल्याला हे एकत्र करून कॉन्झर्व करायचं आहे. आणि आता सुदैवाने पॉझिटिव्ह साईड ऑफ दिस कोविड आणि बाकीचे आपण थोडे सेन्सिटाईज झालोय की आता एकत्र येऊन म्हणायला लागलो की काहीतरी एन्व्हायरमेंट आहे, हे आहे. आता आपण पाहतोय पश्चिम घाटात म्हणजे भूस्खलन आहे, हिमालयामध्ये भूस्खलन आहे, आणि काय काय चालू आहे समजत नाही. म्हणजे इथं व्हायरस आहे, बाहेर काहीतरी एन्व्हायरमेंट वेगळं आहे, आपण आता सेफ आहोत का? त्याच्यामुळे आता वेळ आलेली आहे की आपण डिस्कस करायची. आणि तुम्ही सर गाईड करा की म्हणजे लिटरली तुम्ही आता वेगवेगळ्या कमिटीवरती पण आहात, रिसोर्स पर्सन आहात, आणि मला खूप छान वाटलं तुम्ही वेळ काढून जॉईन झालात आणि तुमचे इनपुट्स पण द्या. आणि काही असेल तर लेट्स इंटरॅक्ट, कारण या लोकांना एक यंग माइंड्स आहेत सगळे, आपल्याला मजा येईल सांगायला आणि डिस्कस करायला. प्लीज सर.
नाही सर, सर्वात महत्त्वाचं म्हणजे खूप मोठा मुद्दा तुम्ही जो मांडला, जो मला आवडला आणि जो मला पटला, तो म्हणजे इतर प्राणी सुद्धा तितकेच महत्वाचे आहेत. नुसतंच आपण आता व्याघ्र केंद्रित असून चालणार नाही. इतर प्राण्यांना तेवढंच महत्व द्यावं, ज्यामध्ये सगळंच आलं. म्हणजे वनस्पतीपासून कीटकापासून सगळ्या गोष्टी आल्या. आणि त्याचा कुठेतरी फायदा सर टुरिझमला सुद्धा 100% होणार आहे. कारण वाघ जर दिसला नाही तर इतर पक्षी जर आपण व्यवस्थित दाखवले किंवा कीटक दाखवले, झाडं दाखवले, तर खूप मोठा फरक पडेल असं मला वाटतं.
बरोबर. नाही, आणि
खूप बरं वाटलं. म्हणजे इट वॉज इंडीड अमेझिंग इव्हनिंग. मला खूप आवडलं. थँक्यू सर. थँक्यू व्हेरी मच.
थँक्स फॉर जॉईनिंग आणि मला बोलतं केलं.
पकाळ साहेब
सर.
मी प्राचार्य जीवन दोंतुलवार मोहता सायन्स. मी
नमस्कार.
सुरुवातीला 1-2 मिनिटं तुमचा जॉईन केला. माझ्या काही अडचणीमुळे मी ऑनलाईन आलो नाही.
काही हरकत नाही सर.
त्याच्याबद्दल मी आपली माफी मागतो.
अरे नाही
आणि
सर, माफी काय आहे त्यात. बोला.
आणि महत्वाचा विषय जे वरद सर बोलत होते, तर मी सुद्धा या इंटरनॅशनल टायगर डेच्या अनुषंगाने काही वाचन केलं 2 दिवसात.
बर सर.
तर मला असं म्हणजे वरद सरांना असं या माध्यमातून थोडंसं शेअर करावं वाटतं की एक टायगर ज्या एरियात राहतो त्या एरियामधला हार्बिवोरस पॉप्युलेशन कंट्रोल करणं, ते टायगरचा एक खूप मोठा रोल आहे. हार्बिवोरस जे ॲनिमल्स आहेत त्यांचं प्रमाण एका लिमिटच्या बाहेर गेलं तर ते शेतीवर त्याचे दुष्परिणाम होतात.
बरोबर.
शेत नष्ट व्हायला लागेल आणि त्या अनुषंगाने त्याचा खूप मोठा परिणाम शेतकऱ्यांवर पडेल शेती नष्ट झाल्याने. तर त्या अनुषंगाने विचार केला तर टायगर कन्झर्वेशन किंवा टायगरचं संरक्षण करणं आपल्याला त्याही अँगलने तो महत्वाचा विषय आहे. आणि मी काल एक वाचलं साहेब, जवळपास 50,000 हेक्टर एरियामध्ये एका टायगरसाठी तुम्हाला फॉरेस्ट तयार करावा लागतो. आय मे बी रॉंग, पण मी गुगल काल बघितलं. म्हणजे एका टायगरच्या कन्झर्वेशन साठी 50,000 हेक्टर समजा फॉरेस्ट आपण तयार करतो, तर हे पण एक खूप मोठं व्हॅल्यू ऍडिशन आहे पर्यावरणाच्या दृष्टिकोनातनं, कार्बन सेक्वेस्ट्रायझेशनच्या दृष्टिकोनातनं.
बरोबर.
आणि अजून एक महत्वाचा भाग म्हणजे तुम्ही जो मुद्दा बोलला तो खूपच महत्वाचा आहे, तो म्हणजे पर्यटन आणि रोजगार. हा एक खूप महत्वाचा विषय आहे. ते वाईल्ड लाईफ शिवाय आपण इमॅजिन नाही करू शकत.
बरोबर.
जगामध्ये सगळ्यात जास्त टायगर पॉप्युलेशन भारतात आहे आजच्या तारखेला, आजचा जो सेन्सस आहे त्या प्रमाणात. आणि विदर्भ तर हे टायगर कॅपिटल आहे. आणि आपल्याकडे येणारे लोक त्यांचे मग हॉटेलिंग म्हणा, ते त्या पर्टिक्युलर टुरिझम मुळे निर्माण होणारा रोजगार, लहान माणसापासनं टुरिस्ट गाईड्स म्हणा, हॉटेल इंडस्ट्री म्हणा, छोट्यापासून मोठ्या रोजगारापर्यंत कितीतरी गोष्टी आपण त्या टुरिझम मधून अचीव करतो. आणि त्याकरता कुठलाही प्रदूषण नाही घडवत आपण काही मोठ्या प्रमाणात. थर्मल पॉवर स्टेशन आहे किंवा काही व्हेहिक्युलर पोल्युशन आहे. तर पर्यावरणाशी साधताना म्हणजे मेंटेनिंग हेल्दी बॅलन्स विथ द एन्व्हायरमेंट, यू आर क्रिएटिंग अन एम्प्लॉयमेंटल ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज फॉर द स्टुडंट्स, फॉर ऑल सेक्टर्स ऑफ पीपल. त्याच्यामध्ये एज्युकेटेड, अनएज्युकेटेड सगळ्या क्षेत्रात. त्या ह्या अनुषंगाने मला वाटतं की हे टायगर कन्झर्वेशन असाच याच पद्धतीनं चालू राहायला पाहिजे. आणि आपण वेळ काढून आले त्याबद्दल मी मनस्वी आपला आभारी आहे. कधीतरी आपण ऑफलाईन भेटूया महाविद्यालयात साहेब, जेणेकरून तुमचा जास्तीत जास्त फायदा कसा उचलता येईल. ऑनलाईन वर तुम्ही बोललात आणि तुमचा सगळ्या बिझी शेड्यूल मध्ये तुम्ही ऑनलाईन आलात त्याबद्दल खूप आभारी आहे साहेब. थँक्यू सो मच.
धन्यवाद सर. मला फक्त एवढंच हायलाइट करायचंय की आपण काय करतोय की टायगर कॉन्झर्व याच्यासाठीच करतोय म्हणून तो कीस्टोन स्पीसीज केलेला आहे. मी प्रेझेंटेशन मध्ये सांगितलं की तो कॉन्झर्व होतोय, त्याला कॉन्झर्व करायचंय म्हणून बाकी सगळं आपण करतो, म्हणून तो कीस्टोन स्पीसीज आहेच. परंतु नॉट फक्त तोच महत्वाचा नाहीये. म्हणजे वरद सरांनी जे सांगितलं ना की तोच महत्वाचा नाही, म्हणजे ते असं म्हणत नाहीयेत किंवा मीही असं म्हणत नाही किंवा आपण कुणीही म्हणायला नाही पाहिजे की बाबा टायगर नको. टायगर तर पाहिजेच, परंतु बाकीच्या पण स्पीसीज आर इक्वली इम्पॉर्टंट, इजंट इट. म्हणजे फक्त आता कसं आहे, कॅरिस्मॅटिक स्पीसीज टायगर आहे म्हणून आपण तो एक चांगला हे आहे आणि आता त्याचे आपण चांगले बेनिफिट्स पाहतोच आहे. म्हणजे जी 1973 ला जी संख्या होती त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त आता संख्या आलेली आहे आणि खूप आता झालेली आहे. बरोबर आहे. अँड दॅट इज द पॉझिटिव्ह साइड ऑफ दॅट. ओके. आणि मग आता काय आहे की इतर स्पीसीज पण ज्या इम्पॉर्टंट आहेत त्याच्यावरती पण फोकस करायला पाहिजे. हे आपलं म्हणणं आहे.
बरोबर आहे सर.
जस्ट एक सर मी ऍड करू.
हो.
माझं जर म्हणणं चुकीचं जर गेलं असेल तर सर मी व्याघ्र संवर्धनाच्या विरोधात नाहीच आहे, कारण वाघ जगला तर सगळं जगणार आहे, कारण वाघाच्या वरच सगळं अवलंबून आहे. पण त्याचबरोबर सर वाघाच्या जगण्यासाठी इतर प्राणी सुद्धा जगले पाहिजे आणि त्यांच्या संवर्धनाचा पण कुठेतरी विचार व्हावा असं असं मला वाटतंय. कारण हे सगळं सर जीवजीवांशी जीवन ज्यावेळेला आपण म्हणतो त्यावेळेला सर्व प्राण्यांना जर समान महत्व दिलं गेलं तर कन्झर्वेशन स्ट्रॅटेजीमध्ये, मॅनेजमेंट प्लॅन्समध्ये, आणि हे सर मी फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंटला नाही सांगत, मी सर्वांनाच सांगतोय की जंगलात गेल्यानंतर वाघ दिसल्यावर आपल्याला वाईट वाटतं, पण बटरफ्लाईज आहेत, इन्सेक्ट्स आहेत, स्पायडर्स आहेत, या सगळ्यांच्या मुळं आज आपल्याला वाघाचं अस्तित्व तेवढंच अबाधित राहणार आहे. त्यामुळे त्यांचा पण कुठेतरी तितक्याच आत्मीयतेनं त्यांच्याकडे बघितलं जावं आणि त्यांचा अभ्यास व्हावा, हे माझं मत आहे सर. म्हणजे व्याघ्र संवर्धनाच्या विरोधात मी कधीच नाहीये, पण फक्त मी एवढंच होतं की त्याबरोबर इतर प्राण्यांना सुद्धा तेवढंच महत्व दिलं गेलं पाहिजे.
Sir, you have stated human tiger conflicts is increasing day by day, right? And uh, okay, it is increasing day by day, and it's between locals or between the farmers and tigers, right? So, is there any insurance policy or any compensatory scheme to the farmers or locals who have lost their cattle to the tiger? Because we know, if one farmer, if he is losing his one cattle or a goat, then for him it is very difficult to to get it normalized, right? So is there any such schemes? I think
Yeah,
that will be a bit additive to the to, I mean, minimize the human tiger conflicts too. I feel
yeah,
personally.
100%, madam. Just I missed that slide. Okay, what state government is doing? Maharashtra state and this forest department of Maharashtra is very pioneer in devising n number of good schemes. Okay, for addressing the man-animal conflict. In case of human kill or this, the government is giving, the life can't be brought back, but the bread earner of the family, if he is killed or died, then what the family will do na? So what forest department is doing, it is immediately it is giving a sum of 15 lakh rupees to the family, to the kin of the family. In case of this crop depredation, means if herbivores comes and depredate this crops or do the crop, the scheme of crop compensation is also running, and the lakhs of rupees and crores of rupees are given as a compensation for damaging the crops by this our department. Okay, so and that money directly goes into the account of the beneficiaries. Then what we are also doing, that to reduce this man animal conflict, what we are providing from our side is for a scheme like solar power fencing. Okay, so to the agriculture crop, so that solar power fencing reduces the amount of incidences of wild boar, or for that matter sambar or other herbivores preying on the crops of this that farmer. So that such kind of things are we are doing. Another thing what we are doing is we are doing this we are trying to reduce the livelihood or dependency on the forest. So for that we have launched, forest department has launched the scheme called Shama Prasad Mukherjee Jana Vana Vikas Yojana. In that we are already addressing 6 different components, and one component is that we want to increase the productivity, agriculture productivity. For that we are providing good seeds, agriculture implements like that. We are also highlighting this what we call vermicomposting units and all these things. Then we are training the students who for the livelihood and generating the livelihood, just like we are organizing driving camps, uh, driving driver training, then industrial sort of training, electrician and all those. Then in Pench Sillari we are doing 2 month residential course for the students in the buffer areas or or villages from the protected areas. Those for them we are providing 2 months hospitality course. So after completing that course, the student of that or the girl or the boy of that area gets the placement in the hospitality industry. Okay, nowadays what we are trying to address major issues in this manner. In certain areas we are also trying to relocate the villages from the core areas or from the forest areas also. So we are trying our level best to address such kind of issues. So but the thing is that as I already mentioned that in one go we can't address everything. So it is a just ongoing process. Ma'am, please.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. It's nice to hear that our government have many schemes for locals also who are actually the sufferers from this human conflict problem.
Yes.
So, thank you, sir. It was indeed a visual treat as you have taken us to the world of your first hand experiences working with wild, making your delivery so engaging that and alive for us. I feel that the audience will indeed be motivated and inspired by your words, and I surely hope that our students shall work for the cause of this endangered wild cat. Thank you, sir, once again. Moving on to the conclusion, I request Dr. Uma Sonparote to propose the vote of thanks.
Okay. Good evening to the dignitaries, teachers, and student friends. On behalf of Environment Protection Cell, I, Dr. Uma Sonparate, take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. Firstly, I wholeheartedly thank Shri Pandurang Pakhle for gracing the occasion and highlighting on the factors for depletion in number of tiger. And also, it was a great pleasure to watch pictures of fauna of Gorewada Lake. Sir, we will definitely visit Gorewada Lake along with the students.
Most welcome.
I'm especially thankful to all the honorable members of Nagpur Shikshan Mandal for encouraging and providing facilities for the program. I thank Principal Dr. Jeevan Dontulwar for providing all necessary assistance in smooth organization of the event. His devotion to the cause of environment and other social issues is truly appreciable. I am extremely thankful to Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator Dr. Reena Saha for motivating and guiding us. I am very much grateful to Varad Giri sir for his gracious presence. I extend my thanks to all staff members for their support. We always try and ensure that our students get exposure to environment issues, which ultimately helps in enhancing their knowledge and creating awareness about different aspects of environment. Ms. Shamli Khadatkar and Ms. Vaishali Ramgunde have played an appreciable role in the organization of the event and making it successful. I thank both for their great efforts. I am thankful to all the members of Environment Protection Cell for their timely help. Lastly, I acknowledge the presence of all attendees for their participation and hope for support and wishes in future events too. Thank you, one and all.
The beautiful, awe inspiring tiger is one of our planet's most iconic animals, It's a responsibility to contribute towards its protection, and we should encourage ourselves to take up conservation issues and spare a thought for the tiger instead of only engaging in tiger safaris, as Pakle sir said. So, with these words and with the permission of the chair, I declare the program is over. Thank you and stay safe.